Hey guys, good morning. Happy Valentine's Day. And here we are on Valentine's Day doing some discussion on love. Little cheesy, but don't you like the idea? That was the idea of doing it on Valentine's Day. Also, of course, it gives me an opportunity to interact with you guys. I love you guys. It's Valentine's Day. It's about all the people you love, everything that you love. So lots of love to you. So happy to be here. Guys, I need reaction on this. Can you see that my hair is grown? It's more than my last picture. When I put up the picture of the book that we are reading, Forest of Enchantments, hasn't it grown more since then? I want comments on that. Come on, guys. I'm so excited. My hair is coming back. Anyway, what do you think of this moment today? We are ready. We will be chatting with the author, and I'm really excited about it. A lot of things that have been going on in my mind, and a lot of questions that I have. You guys have to write in quickly and send me all the questions also, so that I can ask the author all those questions. And it's always fascinating when you read about books which are from a different perspective, like when we did Anand Nilkanthan's Asura. It was so interesting because it was from Ravan's point of view. And as we always say, history is written by victors. In the same way, where women are concerned, most of the stories and history is written by men. And it's so amazing when you hear a counterpoint and when you hear a woman's point of view and you hear it from a woman. And it doesn't need to be a fight of sorts, but it's just respecting two points of view. And that's what I think humanity is all about respecting other points of view and, getting along and, live and let live. So on Valentine's Day, let's take that to our heart and live and let live and give out love. So here we are. What do you have to say? What do you think is happening? And oh, I love these comments that I'm getting. Yes, happy Valentine's Day. I thank you for wishing me about getting well soon, because I am getting better. It's going to be a process. It is a difficult disease, but so what? Life goes on, and you guys have seen me through. Things like this will always see you through, and it's about looking at the positive and looking and anchoring on something that makes you happy. And this book club makes me happy. Oh God. You remember my movies? That's amazing. Yes, thank you, Manisha. Thank you, Neeta. Thank you, Sara Arshad, Kirti Mohan, Varun Agarwal. Thank you so much. Wish you all a happy Valentine's Day too. And good morning to you, Anuradha, Sudhir. Thank you so much, Shaheen Ahmad. Thank you. Love you very much too, Tapas. Manisha, thank you again. Now, come on, guys, tell me, what are the questions? What did you think of the book? I had a very interesting answer from Manpreet, I think, had written to me, and she said she was very, very affected by the book, and when she read the 8 chapters in the book, after that, it's kind of been life-changing. It does happen, because so much of a story that has been told from a certain point of view, and when you suddenly see it and you start looking at it from another point of view, it does make you rethink a lot of things, and it does make you feel like you found something new. And that's why it is life-altering, and that's what books do and stories do. It can be life-altering. You don't always have to go through something very drastic and something really horrible or painful for it to be life-altering. It's all these little things that do alter your life, that do excite you, that do challenge your way of thinking and makes you think in a different way, and all that is life-altering. And that's why, my dears, books are so important, and I love them so much. Imran Khan, thank you so much for, which is the song? Pal Pal Tumse. Yes, it was a lovely song. Thank you so much. And Sangeeta, thank you. Wish you too. From New Zealand, you're joining us. Thank you so much for that. Rajinder Singh, good morning to you. Manjula, happy Valentine's Day to you too. And come on, guys, tell me about the book. What did you think about the book? Love you too, Meghna. It's so sweet of you to say that. Happy Valentine's to all of you. Nishant, Nagesh, thank you. Jasmine. Oof. Poonam, I like what you're saying. It was really awesome. Sita affects every woman too much. She's such a living legend and a live character. Chitra has painted her very well. I agree with you, because I think somewhere all of us grow up feeling that, so from somewhere all of us grow up feeling that we've always been told, be like Sita. So Sita is such an integral part of Indian women's life, and it is lovely to see her point of view also. Tulika, you finished the book. It's so much more than just Sita's story. I thought it was a complete treatise on love. Yes, all types of love and so many kinds of love, and what all love makes us do. And I think Chitra has brought that out so beautifully by, every time when she points out, okay, this also was a decision which was out of love, and how it affects so many people. It was amazing to see that. Yes. Naima, where are you calling from? Where are you writing from? What do you mean it's not available in your country? Let's figure this out, and can you write to us, and let's see what we can do about that, because it's a lovely book, and I think every woman should read this book from wherever they are. Manjuri, thank you. Wish you too. Archana, happy Valentine's Day to you too. Happy Valentine's Day again. Preeti, Reshma, Gaurav, thank you. Oh my God, legal expert. The moment I hear lawyers, I start getting a bit like, but we all need them. Tulika says that she loved this version of Sita. I'm happy to hear that, Tulika. Ravi, thank you so much. Thank you, Sonali. I'm good. How are you? Rafi from Australia, happy Valentine's Day to you too. Shailaja, yeah, really, if people say you look like me, that's a compliment to me, I would say. Thank you that you like that. Bittu, Tapas, Nivedita, Rajesh, Subodh, thank you guys. Good to connect with you all. Thank you. Viral, Manoj, Sachin. There we go. Wow. Thank you guys. Okay. So here we are. Tell me more about what did you think of the books. Thank you. Janie, Suchitra, Shekhar, thank you so much. Yes, happy Valentine's Day. But now I want to know more about the book. Come on guys, let's get on to the book. Thank you for praying for me, Syed Amir. Thank you so much. Adina, thank you. Wish you a happy Valentine's Day. Uma, wish you too. Rosina, thank you. Syed, Arman, Alisha, thank you for thinking I'm brave. I'm not. I'm just normal. You would do the same thing. There's nothing special. Human beings are like that. You have to make do with what is there. Thank you, Nafisa. Thank you, Amir. Siddharth, thank you so much. Rashmi, thank you so much. Honey, happy birthday. It's your birthday today on Valentine's Day. Amazing. Happy birthday to you. Jay Mehta, thank you. Kapil, thank you. Sheetal, wish you too. Anushka, thank you guys. Thank you about that. Thank you. So shall we go now? Shall we discuss the book? Yes? Okay. So here are the various comments that are coming in. I see more and more women writing in. What about the men? Have you not read the book? What is happening? I want to know a male point of view on this, guys. I don't want just the women writing in. I really want to know the male point of view. What did you think of the book? What did it make you look at women in a different way? Did you make it look at, did you realize a couple of things that you had never thought of before? I really want that point of view. It would be interesting to know that. What do you think about it? Nisha, all the best. Now is the time when you need to heal. Give yourself time to heal. Surround yourself with all happy things. Kusum, you like the book and you would like to read more of these books. That's a great feedback, and we would definitely figure out more books like that. And if you have any suggestions, please write into us and we will definitely look at book about. Ujjwal, come on Ujjwal, you can't ask me tell me a brief summary of the book. You have to read the book, no brief summary and all that. Don't make me do your work for you. There's no shortcut in this, okay? You have to read. Kusum, you like the book, and I'm happy to hear that. And like I said, please suggest more books to us on this line if you like these kind of books. Syed, come on, you have to read the book. The book is about Sita. It is Ramayan from Sita's point of view. Maybe not complete Ramayan, but her life from her point of view. So the author, Chitra, has done a very interesting take on it. If you remember at the beginning of, somewhere at the beginning of the book club, we did have the book called Asura from Anand Nilkantan, where he had told the story of Ravan. Which was so interesting because, like, I'm repeating myself in that it was interesting because it was a different point of view. And in the same way, in Forest of Enchantments, it's from Sita's point of view. And we've always heard about Ram, and of course, he is Bhagwan Ram, and he is he's Maryada Purushottam. But what about the wife? What about the other women who were there? Lakshman's wife, Sita's mother, Ravan's wife, Ravan's sister Shurpanakha. You know, the women in these stories, we know them, we've heard of them, we all know these names, but we really don't know anything about them. So the interesting part about this book was that you actually kind of figured out and understood what was happening. The author's take on what these women were going through, what was their mindset like, and that was the interesting part of it. Tulika, I like the way you're saying that. Chitra's Sita taught me one could be a strong feminist without being loud or aggressive. I think that's wonderful because I think I so agree with you. You don't have to be loud and aggressive to be a feminist or for anything. You need to have your opinion, and you can get it across without having to be loud and aggressive. Most of us don't really like being too aggressive and loud, and we are simple people, and I think this is a amazing point of view. Sanjana, which is your favorite quality about the protagonist? My favorite quality about the protagonist, I like the fact that she is intelligent and she has got an amazing emotional intelligence also, and she's so human. I thought that was the best part of it, that when we put people on pedestal, we forget that they're humans. And I find the beauty is about us being humans, because we are all human and we are imperfect, and there is beauty in imperfections, and that's what I really liked about this character. Poonam, I agree with you. It is amazing. Sita does affect every woman too much, because we are all brought up with the stories of Sita and how amazing she was and how perfect she was. And it is nice to know that she was not perfect, and it is okay to be imperfect. That is my big takeaway from this book. And yes, I agree with you. Chitra has painted her very well. I wish I could talk to you guys more. I'm quite excited about how cool I'm getting with the technology. It's always been very difficult to work with technology, but I'm learning. I think that's one thing that staying away from home that has done for me, say being in New York, is I've become more comfortable with technology, considering that this was the only way I could connect with home, with you guys and everything. I've become a little more comfortable with technology now, and I think that's the good part of a good part of it's a part of growing up for me. Uh, Sharina enjoyed some of the new stories that came up. Like which stories, Sharina? I want to know more. I want to know which stories did you enjoy more? The story of Mandodri, the story of Sita's mother, maybe, or was it the story of her sisters? Oh, by the way, did you know I had no idea Ram had an elder sister called Shanta? I mean, that was amazing. Did you know it? Write to me. Tell me. What did you think of it? Ah, thank you guys. Thank you again. Wish you all happy Valentine's Day too. And one second, huh? Yes, Karthik, I agree with you. The author made it magical and did make a it's a tale that's very familiar to us and did make it about love, and that was interesting. Uh, Manan, tell me more about which story did you like more? Urmila, Mandodri, Surpanakha. Yes, of course. Which story? Which other character? Which other woman? I thought Kaikeyi was very interesting also, and the fact that she was a warrior, and it was interesting to see the other mothers of Ram. I mean, there was a lot more in there. I love the way she told about Ram's homecoming from a very woman's point of view. It was more like a housekeeping thing about how she comes back, and everything is not as shiny and spick and span as it used to be. As women, we will identify with that also, because that was so real. It was so real that she comes back and there's so much to be taken care of. Gardens to be planted, dust to be taken out, curtains to be hung up again, and stuff like that. It was very, very interesting. It really made me connect because I could identify with that. Pramada, thank you so much for the blessings. So Anjan, good morning. Wish you a happy Valentine's Day too. Priyanka, reading the book, what Priyanka says is, reading the book made me realize how and why we have grown up to never question Ram's morality. Why Sita? I agree with you. We are always ready to question a woman's morality before we question a man's morality. Why? These are the questions that this book kind of makes you think about, and that's what I mean when you read things from the other point of view. It does make you think. I remember, a lot of times when, as a woman, when you think that maybe I shouldn't be feeling this, so what? I don't need to think this. What can be done about this? It's book like this that tell you that no, it is fine to think about it, and we should be questioning these things, and we should be asking these questions as to why is it okay for a boy to do it and not okay for a girl to do this? Why is it okay that you're not questioning? If you're not questioning his morality, why are you questioning her morality? Yes, they have everybody will get up and tell you that for a year she was with Ravan, and she went through her Agni Pariksha. I mean, he made her go through that at that point also, but it was like making her go through it again. Not cool, if I can say that. Yeah, it did make me wonder about that. So yeah. Aritra, you better read it. What do you mean you haven't read it still? Please, you have to read it. From Kolkata, come on. Strong women from there. How's the Josh, ma'am? Yeah, Josh is good. Keeping up with it. Did you see the movie? Did you like it? Can you talk something in Marathi? म्हणजे काय बोलू मी मराठीत तुमच्यासाठी? Thank you guys for sending me these lovely messages. You guys inspire me also with all your messages, and the love that you send is lovely. Happy Valentine's to all of you. You like Urmila's character. Why do you like Urmila's character? S. Acharya, why do you like Urmila's character? Because of the sacrifice for 14 years. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I agree with you if we talk about it. She's left alone. Her husband says that I want to help my brother. 14 years she lives alone. They've just got married. They come in and the husband says, I'm going with my brother. And she's in this house which she's not born into. So she's living with strangers in that sense, so to say. And the husband is gone, the one person whom she's come into this house for. And that's what, again, another talking point I feel it is. You know, women get married, go to the other house, they go to their husbands' houses. You know, they've left all their comfort zone and gone there, and yet they have to make all the changes and all the adjustments. It's something that, you know, when you look at Urmila's character, it made me feel that why is she making all the changes all the time? Can it not be made a bit easier for her? Like I said, very, very thought-provoking book. Karthik, what did you think? Yes, of the golden deer from Sita's point of view. It was, yes, it was interesting. Can you tell me more about it? Which other part of the book that did you like more? There are 2 independent novels on Urmila and Surpanakha by Kavita K. I have read that, yes, and that book on Urmila is beautiful by Kavita Kane. I agree. I haven't read the Surpanakha one though. Can you send me the name of that book? I would like to read that. I love the Urmila book. Where are we? My God, thank you guys. So much of love. Really, thank you so much. And I'm really excited. I'm glad I chose Valentine's Day to morning to speak to you guys. I wouldn't have known so much of love otherwise. Manpreet, that's not fair. You're saying that she was sleeping and I don't think bothers her as much as Lakshman. Do you think 14 years of sleep is something you would want to not live for 14 years and go into that sleep? Not, I don't think that's how you would like to let go of 14 years of your life. So, I don't know. Really strange that after Ram, Radhika says that really strange that after Ram, Lakshman, Sita were back to Ayodhya after exile, they stayed together for many years, performed many Rajasuya Yajnas, and then all of a sudden Sita is sent in exile. Strange to know that what facts made these facts unfold in this bad way. No, but that is because he hears a rumor. That's exactly what I'm saying. He has been fine. It's because he's heard somebody else talk about it. His point of view is that if I am the king, then you know, me and my family has to be above reproach, which is a great quality to have. But he was amazing as a king, but what about him as an husband? And that question that Sita asks him, that what do you think of Ram as husband, is something that that is a question that needs to be discussed. And he was perfect as a king. It was because his subjects gossiped about it and could raise a finger, and that's why he did that. I would feel that he should have taken up for his wife and said that this is what it is, and I am doing what I have to do as a king, and she does. And we've seen from in the book, she's painted the picture of Sita, who has always been someone who has helped because she could do understand plants, so she was the healer, and so she was doing a lot of good. And you know, just because of one comment to not defend that, I don't think that was right. Because if you are a king and you have to be above reproach, then he was the king to his wife also. Wasn't she a citizen of Ayodhya also? And shouldn't somebody have taken up for her? That's what I feel all the time. Then what else are you saying? Let me read more comments here. Even with the specs, the eyesight is a bit difficult. Yeah. Radhika Chitale says that for me, Kaikeyi was a character inspiring us to stay alert always and be completely unbiased towards everything. that's when even Gita teaches us in, yeah, that's what Gita teaches us also. Why? What do you, but Radhika, I want to know, what do you mean by be unbiased towards everything? I understand with stay alert, but are you trying to say that look at everyone with suspicion? That would be a bit strange, no? To be suspicious of everybody in your life would be very exhausting, I feel. I like to trust people, love people. I find not trusting and looking at everyone with suspicion really, really exhausting. What do you say? And what do you mean by be completely unbiased towards everything? Can you be completely unbiased towards everything? I don't know if that is possible. I like, Tulika says, I like the bit on Ahilya too. How she handled the injustice meted out to her. I agree. I really hoped that the author would kind of get her to say something about what injustice happened to her. Um, I think that would be a story I would love to hear. And you're right, and it was moving. Tulika Singh says that Ram sent out a wrong message, that women are guilty till proved innocent. Tulika, hats off to you. I could not have put it better. And I think we'll live with that even till today. That when a woman says something all over the world, and it's not just in India, guys, it's anywhere in the world, a woman always is guilty till she proves her innocence. And I don't know why that's a patriarchal society, I suppose. But anywhere when the balance, I'm not saying that it has to be a matriarchal society. I always feel that it has to be balanced. Anything when it is unbalanced is not good, and it is absolutely right. It's from there that the message has gone out, that women have to, they are guilty till they prove their innocence. Tulika, thank you so much for putting it so well. I cannot tell you how well you've put this. So I'm trying to get the author to join us from Houston live on Facebook, but till we can kind of get her to do that, and um, as technology is fantastic, but it has its glitches also, and that's what is happening. So we are trying to get her online, but in the meanwhile, I'm really enjoying the comments. So please send them in, because this is what is uh, this is what is the fun part of book club, when you actually tear things apart and discuss it. And yeah, so Radhika Chitle had mentioned about Kaikai, and I want to go back to that. Kaikai's was a mother's love. Somewhere she gave into Manthara. At this point of time, I also felt that she gave into Manthara, who had her own insecurities. All these things comes in from insecurities. But I also want to ask that Kaikai's love, was it just the love of her son, or was it the love of power? Because if her son was not the king, then she would not have the power that she was enjoying at this point, as by being the favorite of the king. So was it really love, or was it the fact that she did not want to let go of power? That's the question that comes to my mind every time I think about Kaikai. What do you guys think? This is what I would like to know from you. Manpreet says everything is decided by God, and whatever he does is always right. Come on, Manpreet. Do you think we should just leave it as saying it's a great way to treat life in a certain way, because so you keep yourself from getting excessively depressed or disappointed by saying that it's okay, it's God's wish. But do you think we have to do we just let it be and never try to do anything, saying whatever is happening is God's wish, so you don't try at all? I don't think so. I really feel that there definitely is God's will, or as you would call it, or somebody would call it, some higher energy working at something, definitely. But I think you can mold it and change it and I hope we get reconnect to the, and yes, finally. Hi,
Finally.
Chitra. So good to
Hi.
see you. How are you?
I'm fine. Happy Valentine's Day to you.
Sorry, one second. I'm going to try and increase the volume here.
Okay. And I'll do the same
Yes,
on my end.
yes. Now I can. Oh, I'm
Yes.
so excited to see you. Sorry that
Thank
took a little
you.
while.
Yes, we've been trying to connect for a while.
Yeah, yeah. How are you?
I'm doing very well. How are you? I'm happy to see you looking so well.
Thank you. Thank you so much. My hair is growing back. I'm so excited about that.
And
But
thank you for choosing my book for your book club. I am
oh my God,
delighted.
it's such a beautiful book, and we are so excited. And we've been having, I don't know if you've been following, but there've been lots of comments that have been coming, and there's so many
Yes,
things
I've
in
been
here that I'm
following. I've
trying
been
to ask
trying
you.
to connect. I've been trying to connect, but it wasn't letting me connect. But now we've managed.
Yes, absolutely, and so looking forward to that.
Thank
Um,
you.
uh, so tell me, I'm happy to hear. First of all, wish you happy Valentine's Day because that's what it is over here. And we
Same to
just
you.
thought
I'm
that your
wearing
book is
my red. I'm wearing my red in honor of Valentine's Day.
nice. Your book was so much about love and different types of love that I mean, there were so many things in the book that you would mention. And when you said, yes, this was also a kind of love, and it was like, yeah, it is, didn't think of it like that, but it is a kind of love. And that's why we
Yes.
thought that this would be a perfect day to do the discussion on this book on Valentine's Day, the day of love.
Thank you.
So,
Thank
yeah,
you.
to go from there, um, what made you think of this story? I know your book, Palace of Illusions on Draupadi, was amazing. It was liked and everything. So, what made you think of Sita?
Well, from the time I finished writing Palace of Illusions, I've been thinking of Sita
Hmm.
because she is probably the greatest icon for Indian women.
Hmm.
And she is held up so often as the perfect woman. But I always felt that, you know, our understanding of Sita is flawed because at least I was brought up to think that Sita was meek and mild and she
Yeah.
always just followed her husband and she put up with everything that was done to her and that we as Indian women should be like her. But that's not so. And as I researched Sita's character, I found out more and more how strong she was. And that's what I wanted to bring out in this book. She's strong, she's complex, she is just a very modern woman.
You have shown her as a healer who knows all about plants. What where did you get that point of view from? Is it there somewhere in the thing, or is it something that came? You felt that this is what she could be, considering that she came from Earth and she was part of nature. Was that a build up from there,
Exactly.
or did you find it somewhere? Did you find a reference to it somewhere?
Well, in the Ramayana, it says how much she loves plants and trees and animals that when she goes with Ram into the forest, which is her decision, Ram never
Right.
tells her to go.
Yeah.
In fact, he says, "You stay home and take care of the in laws." And she's
Yeah.
like, "No, I'm going with you." So
That
I
again
took
is
that.
such a modern way of looking at things, and it's such a strong way of looking at it. You're right that these hints have always been there. But I think the rest of the writing of Ramayana has always been so much from the male point of view that these hints kind of over the period of time got buried. And I'm so glad you've like kind of picked those out and brought them out.
Thank
That
you.
was
And you are so right. They are there. The hints are all there. I don't think I created anything, but I just picked out those hints and I developed them. She's the daughter of the earth. So naturally, she would have, a kind of understanding, a kind of connection with all living things of the earth. And so I took that, and she is a very healing type of person. So that's what I made her. I made her a healer. I made her someone who stands up for the animals and the wild creatures and the forests. And
giving
she
voice to
says,
the unvoiced, people who don't have voice.
yes,
Yes.
yes. And she says to Ram, I have her say to Ram, we are in the forest, we are in their territory. We should not harm the plants and
So
animals.
beautifully put. Yes,
So,
absolutely. What about Sita's mother? I mean, I only knew her always as Janak's daughter. But in this book, she's her mother's daughter. She's Sunaina's daughter. And
yes,
I didn't know anything about her mother. And
right.
where did you get that from?
Yes,
Was it
as
there?
I,
Have I missed it?
yes,
Or
yes.
did you create it?
No, Sunaina is very much there. She is mentioned in several of the Ramayans. And yeah, so she is there in the Adbhuta Ramayan. And she is very much a woman who brings Sita up. She is actually Sita's first example of what a mother should be like, what a woman should be like. And I think Sita really learns from her because Sunaina is very intelligent. Sunaina helps Janak rule his kingdom, but she does it in a
Absolutely.
very,
That was a
yeah,
surprising thing. Where did that, I mean, that was amazing to see. And, you
yes,
can understand where she gets her upbringing from, because that she's seeing all that. And when you put it in that way, it just made sense as to how this child, woman, girl, woman, as she grows, because she grows through your book from this really lovely little girl, young teenager, to being the woman that she is, and you can
thank
see that
you.
somewhere starting from the mother. And it is true, all of us kind of look at our mothers and are kind of somewhere reflections of our mothers
I
as
agree. I agree. And that is, that certainly was the case with me. So I wanted to show that Sunaina and Sita have these conversations. And in some ways, they're true to the epic, but I also wanted to make them timeless and modern. So, Sita's ready to get married, and Sunaina is like, well, I have to give you a like mom to daughter talk about how life is going to be after marriage.
right.
So I wanted
Yeah,
to bring those, those human touches. I wanted to make
absolutely.
Sita come alive and be human for us.
The other human touch which was really beautiful was the relationship between Sita and Urmila, and how when she's coming back from after 14 years or so, she's worried Urmila is going to be so upset with me because I just went and I've just left her there. We were supposed to be together in this in-laws house in this new world. We were on this adventure, so to say. They had embarked on it together as sisters, and suddenly Sita had gone
Yes.
away with her husband. And it is such a sister thing to do that you're worried that is she going to be feeling, oh, she's going to be so upset with me about it. And sisters are never really upset. They've given up, they're forgiven, they love you so much. But you keep feeling, oh my God, my sister's going to be so upset. So that really connected with me, because we are three sisters, and I was like, yeah, I get that. So those
Yes.
touches were so interesting. And the
Thank
way
you.
you
Thank you.
painted Mandodari, the way you painted Vibhishan's wife, it was again so human. And why do you think
I
Mandodari
really,
must have put up with all the things that she put up with?
yeah, I really wanted to show because, when you read the original epics, they're so male focused. There's these wonderful women are there, but we're never given a glimpse into how they're thinking, how they're feeling. And yet that is such an important part of the world of the Ramayana. So I wanted to bring that out. So one of the moments that I worked on a lot is just before Sita goes into the forest with Ram, and the sisters, she and Urmila have decided they're going to do this together. But Lakshman says no to Urmila, so Sita must leave Urmila behind, and it's very difficult for her. She's really torn in two because Urmila is crying. She's saying, my husband doesn't want me. My husband thinks I'm a burden, that I would be a burden if I go to the forest. And Sita's like, maybe I should stay with Urmila. So she's torn in two. And I wanted to show how often we as women are torn in two because we are pulled in different directions. We have, our husbands, and then we have our birth families. And I really wanted to show the humanness of that moment.
And you've shown it so beautifully, really, really beautifully. But in the
Thank
same way, what I would like to ask you about also is that Mandodari. You know, all we've heard, probably read, are two lines about how beautiful she was, and she was always very. She was creative. She was someone who was a patron of various arts, and that she was intelligent. But beyond that, you don't really know her too much. And
you. Right.
you've shown another side to her. Why do you think that Mandodari put up with all the things that she put up with? Because eventually, as we see in your book, that Mandodari still loved Ravan in spite of everything. She loved him, and
Yeah.
that whole thing of it could be Sita, could be Ravan's daughter. Where did that? Where is that from? I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, that is in the Adbhuta Ramayana. So the Adbhuta Ramayana, people say there's no, direct proof that it's also written by Valmiki. So
Mm-hmm.
after writing the Ramayana, he wanted to write a book that focused more on Sita. Now,
Mm-hmm.
very few people have read the Adbhuta Ramayana, but in the Adbhuta Ramayana, it shows Sita's strength. It shows that she is part of goddess Shakti, right? The
Yeah.
Shakti of the goddess. And it shows that, that she is Mandodari's daughter, and there was a prophecy at her birth that she would cause the death of her father. So then,
Right.
Mandodari has to send her away. So, but in my book, therefore, I brought that in as something that Mandodari believes and something that Sita refuses to believe. So I wanted some conflict over there. And
Yeah.
I hope that worked well for you.
You know what worked beautifully with that point of view was that um, it was just too convenient always. I felt. I hope you understand what I mean. That it was just too convenient that Um, 1 year she is with Ravan. She says, I'm not going to step in. So she stays in that forest of enchantments, as you've called it, under that Ashoka tree. And the fact that he has never touched her. And that he turns into the fact that he says that I'm not going to take you forcibly. I want you to fall in love with me. And what is that changeover? And why did that changeover happen? Or why should that be? I mean, and the way you have weaved that thing into it, where he does respect his first wife, Mandodari, a lot, and normally she doesn't get into these things of his concubines, so to say, or the women he gets. But this is the
Right.
place where, because Mandodari is so worried that this could be this woman, and she's kind of making, kind of getting in there in between for the first time. And so I can believe the fact that he did not actually touch Sita in any way, because Mandodari for once was there in between, saying that you cannot be doing this, and I
You
can
can
understand.
break your promise. And she appeals. Mandodari understands Ravan so well. She
Yeah.
appeals to his feeling that he is a great king. So she says, "You're such a great king. Everyone respects you. How can you go back on your word? That would just ruin your entire reputation." And
Yeah.
that really resonates with
So
Ravan.
in that
So
we'll say, well played, Mandodri. It was well played, really. And exactly, and that makes that whole episode so believable, that in spite of being there for a year, he has not touched her. Because earlier you would think that, but why would he suddenly go out of character? Because Ravan as this pillaging monster who's picking up women and stuff like that. And suddenly, that the way you gave the sensitivity to it, the relationship between Ravan and Mandodari, and the way she could influence him, also points out in another direction, that how you can uh, use, not, maybe use is not the right word, but you can give direction. By understanding a person, you can give direction and move them away from certain path, and maybe that's something we all
absolutely,
should look at. And
absolutely, and
somewhere,
I
because
think
women have that EQ, or they
yes.
have that strength, they can do that. And maybe, rather than trying to be like one of our readers pointed out, that Sita was a feminist, and it showed me, the reader said, that it showed her that don't have to be an aggressive person to be a feminist. You have to be a woman. Woman's energy is softer, is smoother, and you have to use that energy rather than trying to be a male, is what I think. And
That is
it's
a
what
very
you showed.
perceptive comment. That is a
Yeah.
very perceptive comment. In fact, that is exactly what I wanted to show through Sita, that Sita is that kind of feminist. She provides a very good role model, I think, for us Indian women who are often in a situation, or who have been brought up to be in a situation where they don't really want to confront. Okay, they don't really want to break down the whole structure in order to have their way, but they have a quiet strength and they will stand up for their own rights. So when necessary, Sita does stand up for her rights.
Yeah.
Right at the end, when she is back, no, she's given birth to Love and Kush, and they are now grown, and Ram says, "Please, I love these children, I love you, please come back, just one thing, just do an Agni
Yeah.
Pariksha." And that is where Sita, with her quiet strength and her dignity, says, "No, no more compromising. I'm not going to do that. That is a
Yeah.
wrong thing for you to ask me." But she doesn't make a big fuss. She doesn't create a scene. She
Yeah.
just with great dignity, she says that, and then she chooses her own path.
Yeah.
So I
I
think
went
that is
through that.
just, oh, thank you, thank you. I actually wept when I was writing that because I
I
could really feel her. You know, she's torn.
It was
She
so
wants to
beautiful.
be with her happy family, but she
Yeah.
knows that if she does that, it'll set a very bad, a very dangerous precedent. And
Yeah.
she looks ahead, really, to our time. And she
But it
says,
still did. Another comment by one of the readers was that, somewhere that this is where it started. What the reader wanted to say that, with the way Ram treated Sita, till today, women are considered guilty till they're proven innocent. And it's
exactly,
not just in India, it's all over the world. We are seeing it everywhere, and we see it every day that, women have to prove themselves again and again, and they're not believed till it's like, you have to prove yourself innocent. They are considered guilty on word go.
yes,
And
exactly,
I think you
exactly.
did
And that's
contribute in
what
a big way to it.
Yes, and that is what I wanted to fight through Sita in the Forest of Enchantments. Sita does not agree. In fact, even earlier, during the first Agni Pariksha, right? When Ram says he's now rescued her, but he says, I don't want to take you back because people will not accept you. You
Yeah.
stayed in Ravan's palace for a whole year. And
Yeah.
Sita says, what are you saying? That just because he forcibly took me away against my will and I wasn't physically strong enough to stop him, does that make me guilty? What are
Yeah.
you saying? Is that justice? That is not
Absolutely.
justice. And I really
Absolutely.
wanted to bring up that point.
And it
But I
it
mean,
comes.
I didn't create it. Sita actually says that in Valmiki Ramayana, but we've forgotten it. So few people have actually read the Valmiki Ramayana that their image of Sita is this kind of patriarchal
Yeah.
Sita that's come down to us through the ages, and that's not the real Sita. And that's really what I wanted to show in this novel,
And
that
you've shown
this
that
real Sita is
beautifully.
strong.
Yeah, and you've shown that
And
beautifully and really needed. Like I said, that for all of us who, whatever you say, somewhere, even if you've not overtly religious, we all brought up being Sita Jaisi Bano. It's always
exactly.
been that. And it's somewhere in our subconscious, that is what it is. And it's so lovely to see her point of view, to see that this is what she felt, to ask these questions, to raise these doubts. They're so important because, again, it's become so black and white, and it is not. It is gray, and that's what life is. It's always gray. And with Sita raising these questions, it's the best. These questions need to be raised, need to be asked, and the more people who will read your book, the more they will be. I hope more questions are asked about this by that, and you've done that by writing this. What next? What are you thinking of other than this?
Well, I'm just after every book, I really have to like take a little time because I have to exit that world. So I have to exit the Forest of
Yeah.
Enchantment and enter. But I'm
Okay.
thinking now, in fact, I'm already doing the research. I want to write another novel also about a strong woman, but this time a woman so closer to our modern
Sorry.
times. A woman from our history, our
Sorry, I
Indian
missed that. I missed the connection. Could you repeat that?
Yes. So after having written Forest of Enchantments, which goes way back into our cultural past, now I want to go into our historic past, not so far back, but I'm going to write a novel about a woman who fought the British in a very wonderful way. Again, in a very womanly way, she
Okay.
fought the British, and her life has been forgotten pretty much. And so I've researched her life. She had a wonderful life, and I'm going to write about her. But the subject, her name has to remain secret for now.
Oh, I'm guessing. Guys, I want you to write in, who do you think is the next strong woman character from our history? I have a few guesses. I want you all guys also to write in. And then we are going to send you these messages and see what are the characters that come out with it.
All
So,
right, I would love to see that.
yeah, I want you all to write in. Let's all put in, who do you think is this who is this strong woman character from our recent historical past that Chitra is going to be writing about? It's exciting, and this is a contest. Come on, guys, I want to know what you think. But so in between this, you're a teacher.
Right,
So
right.
do
I
you go
teach at the
back to teaching?
University of Houston.
Sorry, so you continue
Yes.
with your teaching and you continue with your research at the same time. How do you manage that?
Well, it's difficult. It's very difficult. I really have to manage my time carefully. So my weeks are divided into teaching days and writing days. So I go to the
Okay.
university about twice a week, and the rest of the days I'm at home. So I do my writing and my research on those days.
Okay. So, on that, because you have a system of working, which is teaching days and writing days, which also reminds me that on Sonali's book club, we have this lovely segment, which is the master class. And, we really would love to have you do a master class with our budding authors on the on the book club, and where you tell them how do you kind of break down your writing, formation of characters, editing chapters, etc., etc. And I hope you will agree to it and one day do a master class for us.
Yes, maybe one day in a little while. Yeah, maybe as I get a little more into my novel, that would be fun to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we would love to have a. But while we will do the master class, in the meanwhile, for now, could you give the budding writers on the book club could you share with them something, which is, how do you write? What is your thought process like? What do you think they
Sure,
should be doing?
sure. I think one of the most important things that has helped me become a writer is reading. Because
Mm-hmm.
when I read good books, I get a lot of ideas. And I also see the techniques. I learn techniques from other writers.
Mm-hmm.
And it just helps me with my own writing. When I get stuck, I have a very large library.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, let me see. You can see
Oh,
some of my
lovely.
books in the background.
Uh-huh.
And so, it's very important for me to read regularly because when you read, it just sparks off ideas in your own mind about your own writing. Or when I'm stuck, let's say I'm doing a scene of conflict between two major characters and I'm stuck, I don't know how to show that,
Mm-hmm.
their emotion, then I go back to reading books that have done that well. And when I
Okay.
read them, I get ideas for my own writing too. So that's the first thing I would tell budding writers. And I tell this to my students all the time. Just read regularly, but read like a writer so that you're not just picking up the story, you're picking up techniques as well.
Techniques also. So, also, are there any times when you're writing a book about a really strong woman, like right now, but there are times when you're stuck and now nothing is happening and there must be a writer's block happening at some point.
Yes, yes.
Do you pick up books on strong women at that time, or do you sometimes go completely off the beaten track, so to say, in what you're writing, and pick up a book that is completely different? Do you ever do that,
Well,
or you kind of stay in the same sort of a broad
no,
genre?
no, I do both things. I do both things depending on what kind of, like, writer's block comes about because of many different reasons. And one of the reasons is that I haven't understood my story well enough and I haven't
Oh,
understood my own character well enough. In which case I don't read. Okay, I just try to like take notes on my own writing. Or sometimes I'll just sit quietly and meditate on my character to understand my characters better or to understand their dilemma better. And so, it has to work up here. And
yeah.
so that's one way that I have of
that
getting
that
out
that's
of
a
writer's.
really amazing point of view, that the writer's block happens because you don't know your characters that well, so you spend the time getting to know your characters. That's what you're with. That's an
Yes.
amazing point of view for all the writers out there. Remember, writer's block is because you don't know your characters and your story that well, so it's time to kind of get to know them. How
Yeah.
amazing that is. Really, really looking forward to your next book. Please don't keep us waiting too long. We really want to, don't take
I'm
too long
working
in
hard
between.
on it. I'm working hard on it. And
Uh,
thank you for the encouragement because, when I hear from readers and I know that they've enjoyed a book, that gives me a lot of encouragement to write my next one.
we are going to, we will see to it that we compile certain comments and, the feedback, and we will mail that to you.
Oh,
And
that would be
that, just
lovely.
so that every time you feel that and you think of us, and that's also a reminder of us, and, you can look at the comments and, kind of get through your next book in that sense. And while you're at it, please remember your promise that you are going to do a masterclass for us at some point, and
I
we're
will.
really looking forward to
I'll
that.
do one.
It
I'll
was
do one.
amazing to talk to you and share this with you, and thank you for the book, and thank you for that point of view on Sita. Really, really appreciate it.
Thank you for choosing my book for your book club. And thank you for having a book club because, a person like you is really a role model for so many people. And when you show people that you are reading and you're thinking about books and you're discussing the ideas there, that really inspires, I'm sure, a lot of people to do the same. And that's so, so important. That is so
Thank
enriching
you.
to all our lives. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful Valentine's Day.
You
Thank you.
too, and I wish
Bye.
you all the best. Good luck, good health. Goodbye.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye. And guys, what did you think of this? Wasn't that a wonderful chat? So many various topics that can be talked about, that can be more seriously discussed. And sometimes it leads to a lot of um, what do you say, people get it becomes very aggressive, this topic of feminism, of different points of view. But without getting into that aggression, we must acknowledge that there were a lot of points of view that were very interesting, that were brought out in this book, and that are worth thinking about, and very, very applicable even today. In fact, even more today, when what we need to do is learn from history, and this is history, and we need to learn from it, and we need to move ahead from it, and we need to grow from it. And that's what these stories are for, that's what reading is for, so that we evolve. And thank you so much, guys. Happy Valentine's Day again, and really enjoyed having this chat with you. Keep writing, send lots of love. Lots of love to you all too. Bye bye.